Feel free to blow out your candles. Good evening, my name's Ben, and along with Hanel, who you've met, we lead the church here at St. Peter's. It's hard to remember given the joy tonight, but have you noticed that there's been a shortage of joy this year? Tesco has. Notwithstanding the traumatic events of last night, our great anthem is no longer as happy and glorious as it once was. We've been baffled again by Boris over many months and more months, and we've been tanked by Truss. And now we've got Rishi and his sliders that cost more than a week's worth of electricity, which is a lot of money, have you noticed? I don't know if you've been given one of those free smart meters, but I was suckered into it after about the 20th text and the 15th email. I thought, well, what could be so bad about this? It's free. They're giving them away free. What they don't tell you when they give them to you for free is going to cost you with crippling anxiety. I was excited when I got it, and I put it on the dresser in between the kitchen and my living room so I could walk past it and have a little glance at how we're doing as a household when it comes to our gas and electricity usage. And it's got lovely little happy pie charts on the screen and daily targets that you can adhere to. It is a perfectionist dream. In fact, you can look at it and work your whole life around it. And the first day I had it, I felt happy. I would walk past it, I would glance at the screen. I think I'm doing quite well this morning. But by 8 a.m. of the first morning that I got it, I realized that the targets they set on those things are totally unreasonable. By 9, I'm more than double my target. I start passing the screen on my way into the living room, and I feel this anxiety coming over my body, and I'm shaking. When I was young, my dad used to follow me around upstairs, and he'd flick all the light switches off behind me, and he'd mutter, "Do you know how much electricity costs in this house?" I'm muttering, flicking off switches. These, now, do you know what I do? I march my children downstairs, I take them, and I stand them in front of the smart meter with the colors and the pie charts, and I say, "Kids, look at those numbers. They're going up." They don't understand what money is. I'm saying, "That's an LOL doll, that's the Barbie. Oh, now we have to sell the dog and Christmas is over." Somebody has played with the algorithm in my one. Some sick, sadistic technician, because I'll pass sometimes and it'll say, "Here's how you're doing today." And I've tried my best to boil only the right amount of water that I need for a cup of tea, notwithstanding the fact that when I drink it, it's covered in lime scale. And I'll go past and think it's worth it, because look, I'm hitting my daily target today, and then I'll walk past later on in the day, and the thing has changed to how I'm doing this week without telling me, and it's quadrupled in price, and I'm on my knees and I'm screaming to the kids, "Christmas is cancelled." They're going to have quite a lot of therapy for that one. Anyway, Tesco have the solution. And what they've done is they've started a Christmas party because of this joy shortage. And here's their manifesto. It says this: "We understand that it's tough at the moment with everyone's finances under pressure. But we also know people are looking forward to Christmas. This is why we decided to officially stand up for joy this Christmas and help everybody enjoy the best bits, no matter what their budget." And so we've included some of our many little helps that will make your money go further, which is good news, isn't it? Because I've been collecting their points for years in the hope that it will get me a ferry to France. So far, all it's got me, shopping trip to Ashford Outlet. So what's their solution? Their solution is a Christmas meal for £25. You can look up on the website: frozen turkey, frozen parsnips, frozen Yorkshire puddings, frozen roast potatoes. Do not expect any pigs in blankets. I looked last night, they're sold out. In fact, so are the peas. This is the solution to the joy shortage this Christmas. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Christmas dinner. Liquefy the bread, wrap the sausages in themselves, swap in the meat for something dry and tasteless. I'm in, I love it. But if that's the solution to the joy shortage, surely 2023 is not going to be any better. What is happiness anyway? Scientists tell us that happiness is caused by the release of 4 different hormones in our body. Firstly, dopamine. This is the social media hit. So when you're eating your frozen dinner and you take a selfie and it's right there minus the pigs in blankets and the peas, every time that you put that on social media and you get a like on your Instagram feed, you get this dopamine hit in your body. It might make up for the lack of peas on your plate. And then you've got serotonin. This is the chemical that makes us happy, and it's released in our body when we do something that makes other people proud of us, like scoring a penalty in the 84th minute of an incredibly important quarterfinal. Can you imagine the serotonin rush he would have got? And then there's endorphins. This is the exercise high. So as you're breaking your body, trying to work out and exercise in ways that the body shouldn't be put through, what happens is endorphins are released into your body to mask the pain that you're feeling as a result of what you are putting it through, and you literally feel high in the moment. And then there's the final hormone, and this is the holy grail of happiness that could ever possibly be released into your body, and it's called oxytocin. Babies get a rush of this when they breastfeed from their mother. Mothers get an absolute doused it when they give birth to their child. The rest of us have to work a little bit harder, and we have to do things like hug people a lot and sacrificially love people that we might enjoy being around. And the oxytocin floods our body, and we feel connected to the people that we sacrifice for. I reckon I got close to pretty much all 4 of these hormones released into my body last Christmas. You see, Christmas, if you remember last year, also suffered from a bit of a joy shortage. And we went to my brother for Christmas Day, and he had bought his wife one of the new Oculus VR headsets. Now, I'd always been a bit skeptical about virtual reality. I remember when Zuckerberg changed the company's name to Meta, and I laughed at him. I've watched Ready Player One, most boring film I've ever watched in my life. The idea that I'm going to spend the rest of my life strapped into a computer in a shipping container sounds absolutely horrific. Sign me out. I want nothing to do it. But you know what changed my mind is when my youngest put on the Oculus headset, looked down at her hands, screamed, burst into tears, took it off and threw it across the room. She runs into the corner and she's whimpering, rocking back and forward. And I thought, I'm going to try this. This seems amazing. So I put it on and I'm transported into space, into a training boot camp for virtual reality, and I'm learning how to make paper airplanes and throw them across the room, completing task by task, and dopamine is starting to fill my body. Ding, ding, ding. I'm starting to enjoy my experience as I launch rockets and play ping pong, and then final part of the training boot camp is I get to learn to dance with a cute little robot I called Rupert. Rupert made me feel good. I can't dance. But by the end of my time with Rupert, the oxytocin was off the charts. And once you're done with boot camp, you can actually play the games. Now, one of the best games you can possibly play on VR is something called Beat Saber, which is collaborated with Lady Gaga. It's essentially a fitness app because Lady Gaga's fit, and Beat Sabers, lightsabers from Star Wars, that's how you keep fit in virtual reality. And what you do is you're transported onto this road, and there's luminous blocks that appear out of nowhere, and with both your lightsabers, you're to hit the rocks with both hands and start dancing around and stamping on the right thing, all to the track of Lady Gaga, I'm on the Edge of Glory. And if you've played it, you'll know how addictive this game is. The dopamine starts rushing into your body, and you're hitting the blocks left, right, and center, and the chorus kicks in. You think, I'm starting to feel the edge of glory. I'm with you, Lady Gaga. I'm on it. And you're hitting the blocks, and you get to the last one. You complete the stage. Serotonin rushes your body as everyone's applauding you in the room. And every now and again, you get to the second chorus, and it's, I'm on the road to glory. I'm on the edge. I'm feeling it. And I remember Rupert in the training room, and I start crying, and I reach up for some that's just right over there out of reach, and I hear this voice in the back of my head, and it's my brother saying, Ben, stand back, Ben, stand back. I don't care, I'm in the moment. I am living the dream on the edge of the glory, and I go and I smash the rock. And this pain just comes over my hand. I'm like, this VR is amazing. I can feel it in my hand, and I take the headset off, and there's blood running down my arm, and I've smashed the picture off the wall. And all 3 of my children are now rocking in the corner, completely traumatized. They're going to grow up, and all of their mates are going to be getting cut price therapy on VR. They're not going to want to go near it and have to pay full price for a real person. You see, we can pump our bodies with as much of these happiness hormones as we want. We can take ourselves to the edge of glory, but reality has this horrible habit of breaking in, doesn't it? You see, dopamine is actually highly addictive and very dangerous. It's what the crippling anxiety and depression is caused by when we're hooked on social media. Serotonin's hard work. Imagine living your whole life, and the only way that you're going to feel happy is if you make other people proud the whole time. Endorphins actually destroy your body because they're masking pain for a reason, because your body shouldn't be put through what you're putting it through. And oxytocin, as amazing as it is, as incredible the bonds and the relationships that we have in life are, it is the cause of heartbreak when we're betrayed or we're let down or we're left and we feel alone. None of them surely can be a long-term solution to happiness. So where can we find joy? Where can we find the kind of joy that we're singing about in these carols, the kind of joy that Tesco thinks that we deserve, the kind of joy that deep inside we know that we need, that gets us through the times where it feels down and up and down and up and back and forth, a joy that really does settle us and enable us to live life as it's supposed to be lived? Well, this is the invitation of Christmas. I love the feast. I enjoy the family fights, the uncontrollable, spiraling debt. Sign me up, I love it all. It brings happiness. But if you want joy, a joy that lasts, the message of Christmas is God has made himself experienceable in the person of Jesus. You see, the angels said to the shepherds on the hillside, "Don't be afraid. We have good news, which is going to cause you great joy." Hard to imagine when we see a baby in a manger born to two peasant parents in a backwater town in the middle of nowhere. But as this baby becomes man, the unthinkable starts to unravel. We soon start to realize as we read the story of Jesus that the impossible has happened, that God, the creator of the universe, the heavens and the earth, the one to whom time does not apply, has wrapped himself in flesh and made himself knowable in a person. And the person is Jesus. You see, those messianic claims that were spoken over him at his birth start to become true as he grows into an adult. Yes, Jesus was fully human. He ate and he drank and he slept and he sweat just like anyone else in this room. But the thing that really started to baffle people is these messianic claims that he was God, not just human, but God in flesh, started to become a realization as we realize that the same Jesus that ate, slept, and sweat also started to perform miracles and heal people who came to him, fed thousands of people with a loaf of bread and a couple of fish, walked on water, calmed a storm with his voice. Has there ever been anyone with so much freedom than the person of Jesus? Has there ever been anyone with the undeniable authority that the person of Jesus has had? Is there ever been anyone so kind? Has there ever been anyone so powerful? If God were to make himself known in a person, who do we think he would look like if not the person of Jesus? And as you can imagine, when you're displaying that kind of wonder and magic, crowds start to flock to him. Thousands start to come to hear him speak, to see him perform miracles, to receive some of what he is giving out. And because these thousands are flocking to him, he starts to get the attention of the authorities, the religious authorities, the Jewish authorities, but also the Roman authorities. And they conspire together. And the religious authorities betray him to the Roman authorities, and he's charged with rebellion against Rome and blasphemy because he's claiming to be God in flesh. And as a result, he's tortured and he's flogged and he's nailed to a cross in between two thieves, at which point the thousands that flock to him moments before are nowhere to be seen, and he dies alone on a cross after a sham trial, despite having done nothing wrong. But that's not the end of the story. If that were the end of the story, how could this make up for a shortage of joy? Because 3 days later, some of the women who did stay by him whilst he was being crucified go to his tomb to anoint his body with some spices. And as they get there, they realize the Roman sentries aren't there anymore. The stone has been rolled away and the tomb is empty. As they run back to the others to tell them what's happened, they meet the Jesus they saw crucified just days before, and their hearts are filled with wonder. And they go back to the disciples and he appears to them. And they see and they touch and they hear and they feel and they taste the same Jesus who walked with them as he lived his earthly ministry. And he starts to explain to them why he had to die on the cross. That as he died on the cross, what happened is he took upon himself everything that is causing the shortage of joy that we're all experiencing. The stuff of life that's ruining our lives, that's ruining our relationships with other people, that's ruining our relationship with God, whom we're created to be in a loving relationship with, because we're made in his image and likeness, and he destroys the power of it once and for all through his sacrifice, and he's brought back to life to bring us life. And so he says to his disciples, his followers, he says, it's better if I go. It's better if I ascend back into heaven, because I want you to experience more than just me in physical form. I want you to experience my presence in your heart. And so as he ascends into heaven, the disciples are waiting, and suddenly they're filled with the same spirit and presence of Jesus that they experienced when they walked and talked and slept and ate and laughed with whilst he was on earth. And the Christian church explodes into life. They've gone from a ragtag gaggle of disciples who were cowering, denying they even knew Jesus because they were scared for their lives, to proclaiming his name in the streets, the fact that he's resurrected. And the church just gathers steam again and again, and it goes bigger and bigger and bigger and becomes this movement that covers the globe. And then 2,000 years later, we're still celebrating the birth of the man of God made flesh, died on a cross, resurrected from the dead, filling us with his Holy Spirit so that we can experience his love for us. Our judicial system is based on the teaching of Jesus. Our hospitals, our education, we date our calendar by him. But more than any of that, his promise is we can experience him. He said when he was teaching his disciples, I am the bread of life. Whoever feeds on me will never go hungry again. I am the living water of life. If you drink of me, you will never thirst again. Can you taste him? He said, I'm the light of the world. Those who look to me will never be plunged into darkness again. Can you see him? He said, I'm the good shepherd. And my sheep, they hear my voice, and I know them each by name. Can you hear him? Can you smell the sweet aroma of his presence? Can you feel him? First time I experienced the presence of Jesus, a friend of mine invited me to his church much like this one. He actually bailed on me whilst I was traveling to go to the service. And on the way, I decided to still go, but I arrived late, and I came in through the back doors, and the singing had already started. And as I walked in and I crossed the threshold, I just suddenly started weeping. Unexplainable, have no idea what was happening. And I went and sat down, and I cried my way through the entire service. At the end, I went back, and then I came back again the week after. Exactly the same thing happened. And the only way I can explain what was happening after I thought about it, after it going on week after week after week, was that I was meeting a person. I was having an experience of this person that they were talking about in the service. Now, I was at university at the time, and for all intents and purposes, my life was great. I was happy. I was doing everything I can to fill my body with every single happiness chemical on offer. But I can tell you now that none of them compare to the experience of the presence of Jesus telling me that I'm loved and that I'm known and that I'm safe and that he's proud of me. See, the difference with the experience of Jesus is it lasts. Because it's not a hormone released into our body, it's a relationship with the living God. And it's on offer. It's a gift. Unlike everything else that we have to do to be happy, we don't need to do anything to earn it. We don't need to make anyone proud to feel it. Jesus just says, "Come to me, all those who are weary and heavily laden, and I will give you rest." Now, in the spirit of experience, I wonder if you want to, just shut your eyes, and I'm going to pray before we go into our next song. Famous little passage in the Bible, Jesus says this: "I stand at the door of your heart and I knock. And if anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I'll come in and I'll eat with them." We can feast in the presence of Jesus this Christmas. Can you see him? Can you taste his goodness? Can you feel his love? God, we thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus. Thank you that through him, we can experience your unconditional love. We can taste your goodness for ourselves. We can see your light guiding us. And we can hear your voice. Amen.